They tell you to chase money, but they never tell you what happens when money starts chasing you. I've seen men build empires and lose them overnight. I've seen the rich kneel before the poor because the poor man understood something deeper: control. Money without control is a loaded gun in the hands of a child, and Machiavelli knew this centuries ago. He didn't write about being rich, he wrote about being powerful, because he understood that wealth is only valuable if it bends to your will. This isn't about how to make money, it's about how to command it, to rule it like a weapon of empire, not a chain of slavery. This is the Machiavellian Code to control wealth. Most men never control their money. Their money controls them. They wake up every day to chase it, to serve it, to fear losing it. And they call that life. But Machiavelli warned us about this illusion. He said, "A man who depends on fortune will be ruined when fortune changes." Fortune, wealth, is the most deceptive mistress of all. She gives power to the weak to expose them, and takes it from the strong to test them. Money is a mirror. It doesn't make you powerful. It only shows who you truly are. If you are disciplined, it magnifies your discipline. If you are weak, it multiplies your weakness. That's why you see men win the lottery and end up broke. That's why you see entrepreneurs rise fast, then fall faster. They never learned control, they only learned desire. Desire is fire, control is steel. Without steel, fire destroys everything it touches. Machiavelli taught one timeless rule: power comes before profit. Because wealth without power is fragile. It attracts wolves, parasites, and vultures, the kind that smile while sharpening their knives. A man who has money but no strength is not rich. He's a target. True wealth isn't in your bank, it's in your influence. It's the ability to command attention, bend reality, and move people without asking permission. Machiavelli understood this. He wrote for princes, for men who ruled not because they had gold, but because they had the will to make others kneel. Today's men chase profit instead of power. They build businesses with no spine. They trade their integrity for quick rewards. And when the storm comes, their kingdoms collapse, because there was never a king inside the castle. Money doesn't obey logic. It obeys emotion. And the man who can control emotion controls money. Look at the world around you. Markets crash not because of numbers, but because of fear and greed. Two emotions, two levers of control. Machiavelli said, "The man who masters fear rules the hearts of others." Apply that to wealth, and it means this: control your fear and you control your fortune. That's why the powerful don't panic when things burn. They watch, they calculate, they strike. They turn crisis into conquest. If you want to master money, master yourself. Your spending, your patience, your reactions. A man who can't control his emotions will always lose his empire to a man who can. Most men today are slaves to urgency. They want money now. They want fame now. They want power now. But Machiavelli taught the opposite. He believed in timing, the art of striking only when the odds are certain. He said, "Never attempt to win by chance what can be won by strategy." The rich think they are hunters, but Machiavellian men, they are predators. They don't chase. They wait, they study, they trap, and when they move, they don't miss. You want to control wealth? Then stop sprinting after it. Start positioning yourself where it will come to you. Because control isn't about running faster. It's about moving smarter. Patience is the weapon of kings. Power demands sacrifice, and every man must decide what he's willing to lose to control what he wants. Machiavelli said a ruler must be willing to act against mercy, against faith, against humanity, if it serves the preservation of power. Brutal words. But truth rarely wears a smile. If you want control, you must detach from comfort. You must let go of needing validation, of fearing judgment, of craving applause. Because the moment you need approval, you lose leverage, and without leverage, money owns you. The Machiavellian man doesn't chase comfort. He uses it. He doesn't avoid pain. He harnesses it. Every sacrifice becomes fuel. Every failure becomes armor. Control comes to those who are willing to bleed for it. Most men are too emotional for power. They get a little money, and suddenly they think they've won. They buy luxuries to feel significant. They show off to feel respected. They surround themselves with yes men to feel important. But Machiavelli warned, flattery corrupts judgment. And when your judgment dies, your kingdom dies with it. Weak men destroy themselves not by poverty, but by comfort. They mistake pleasure for progress. They build nothing but noise. The strong man builds silence. He doesn't show. He prepares. He doesn't brag. He plans. He doesn't chase fame. He builds power. That's the Machiavellian Code. Move in silence, strike with precision, command without apology. To control wealth, treat it like a sword, not a trophy. The trophy sits on a shelf to be admired. The sword is sharpened to be used. Machiavelli believed that wealth should serve political and strategic ends. He said, money cannot defend you if you cannot defend money. In modern terms, if you're not mentally or physically strong, your wealth belongs to whoever is. Use money to buy freedom, not distraction. Use it to buy time, not vanity. Use it to build networks, not noise. Because a true Machiavellian doesn't collect wealth. He consolidates power. Machiavelli's ideal man wasn't rich. He was ruthless in focus. He didn't chase 10 things. He built one empire. In The Prince, he said a ruler must learn not to be good, but to appear good when necessary, meaning control your image, but never let your image control you. In today's world, men lose power by oversharing, over-explaining, and overreacting. The Machiavellian man understands the art of restraint. He knows that silence builds mystery, and mystery builds value. The richest men in history weren't the loudest. They were the most unpredictable. Predictability is weakness. Control demands mystery. Machiavelli said every ruler needs a fortress, but the greatest fortress is not made of stone. It's made of discipline. To control wealth, you must first build walls around your impulses. Control what you consume. Control who you listen to. Control what you spend time on. Because in the end, the only thing standing between you and chaos is your own mind. A disciplined man doesn't need luck. He creates inevitability. He doesn't chase opportunities. He attracts them through consistency. That's why Machiavelli respected men of virtue, inner strength, courage, and cunning. Virtue is what makes fortune obey you. So what is the Machiavellian Code to control wealth? It's not about making money. It's about mastering yourself. Because if you can't control your emotions, your habits, your greed, you'll never control your fortune. Money follows control. Control follows discipline. Discipline follows purpose. That's the order of power. That's the architecture of kings. You want to be free? Then stop chasing money. Start becoming the kind of man money obeys. Machiavelli didn't write for the rich. He wrote for the ruthless. For men who rise when others break. For men who build empires not to be seen, but to be remembered. Men, listen closely. Money will come and go, but the man who can control it will control the world. So sharpen your mind, discipline your will, build your empire from within, because the age of comfort is ending, and the world doesn't need more millionaires. It needs masters. And only those who learn the Machiavellian Code will survive what's coming next.